in, everybody. It is week 11 in the NFL. Soda is out sick today, so it's just me, but I still have a great show for you. We got our top 5 running backs. If you haven't played OwnersBox yet, OwnersBox is the best place to play daily fantasy sports. No kickers, no defense. You got super flex, so you could have 2 quarterbacks in your lineup. If you haven't played it yet, click on the link in our description. You can go over there and play it and use code MENLY when you sign up, and they're matching deposits up to $500. That's $500 to play for free. So let's start off with our honorable mentions. Honorable mentions this week is Browns running back Nick Chubb, Washington Commanders running back Antonio Gibson, and of course Tony Pollard of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see if Zeke is much of a factor this week, but those are our honorable mentions. Let's get into the top 5. At number 5 this week is Ramondre Stevenson of the New England Patriots, coming off of a bye. Damian Harris is back this week, but that does not scare us. Ramondre Stevenson is still our number 5 play. Reason we love him so much, PPR over on OwnersBox. This guy gets the receptions. He had his first receiving touchdown of the season last week, and he's going against the New York Jets, who they just recently played. They're playing at home. They own the Jets. I think it's been like 10 straight wins against the Jets. So we love Ramondre Stevenson this week. He is our number 5 play. Number 4, we're going to go to another good pass-catching running back, and that is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has 4.9 receptions a game, 6.6 targets a game. That's third in the league, only behind McCaffrey and blanking on who else he's behind. Oh, Austin Eckler. 2 really good pass-catching backs. Neither of them are on the slate this week, so Alvin Kamara is actually the best pass-catching back on the slate this week. We had him in our top 5 last week. Disappointing. We're not fans of Kamara's performance last week. We believe in a bounce-back game this week, going against the Rams. Rams are in shambles right now as far as injuries. Looks like Stafford's probably going to play. He's been practicing. He was out with that concussion. They are going to be without Cooper Kupp, but we believe Kamara is going to be a big factor in that Rams and Saints game. Moving on to number 3, someone who finally showed up to do work last week, and that was Devin Singletary. He had 2 touchdowns against the Vikes. He looked really good. Unfortunately, they weren't able to keep running the ball because that game became a shootout. The most exciting game of the year. I think it will be for the rest of the season. I don't see anything topping it. But Devin Singletary looked good last week, and the Browns give up over 30 fantasy points a game to the running back position. Josh Allen made some big mistakes last week. I can see him trying to take it out of his hands a little bit more and giving Singletary the rock. You see 13 carries for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. Very efficient game last week. The signing of Nyheim Hines doesn't really scare me away from him. I think Singletary is going to get the majority of the work. That is why Devin Singletary is our number 3 back. And again, at only $5,300, that's a good price for a running back. Again, the running back position this week, you're not finding a ton of value. Nobody's really cheap. You're going to have to find that elsewhere. But we will move on to number 2. And this is someone that I do believe has quite a bit of value this week because this guy was the unanimous number 1 pick in fantasy this year. Everyone was taking him number 1 overall. And you can get him as the 4th most expensive player this week. And I don't think that's going to happen again for the rest of the year. So Jonathan Taylor is our number 2 play this week at 6,100. He's 3rd in attempts per game going against Philadelphia. Philadelphia got ran all over last week. Washington ran the ball really well on them, and Jonathan Taylor had 22 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown last week. That's what we expected from him all year. Jeff Saturday came in. It's very clear that they're going to try to win games, and Jonathan Taylor is going to be a huge part of that. They brought back in Matt Ryan, and we expect Jonathan Taylor to have a huge week this week. And with him being cheaper than 3 other guys, you got to take Jonathan Taylor this week. That leads us to our number 1 play, and it's the same as last week, guys. I know it can get kind of boring, but Saquon Barkley, there's no reason he shouldn't be the number 1 play. He's first in yards. He'll probably go over 1,000 this week. I believe he's at like 930. He's 2nd in the league in attempts, only behind Derrick Henry, who's playing tonight. First for running backs and fantasy points per game. There's really nothing not to like about Saquon Barkley. And like I said, with there not being much for cheap options at the running back position, just pay up, take Barkley, scored a crap load of points. 35 carries for 152 yards last week. We expect a similar performance this week. So to recap, our top 5 running backs over on OwnersBox this week: Ramondre Stevenson, number 4, Alvin Kamara, number 3, Devin Singletary, number 2, Jonathan Taylor, and number 1 is Saquon Barkley. Stay manly, everybody.